All right. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey, Shalom, El Mas Chingon. Let me know where you're tuning in from, man. Where you joining the class from. All the brothers and sisters that's tuning in live. If y'all can like and share the class, let us know. You let everybody know we live. Again, this is Preaching Captain Soccer War coming to you all live from Memphis, Tennessee. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have classes live here in Memphis, Tennessee. The school address in Memphis is 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. Again, 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215 here in Memphis, Tennessee. Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge has a school here in Memphis for all so-called Black Hispanics and Native American Indians, man, to come through and to learn the truth. You understand? Since 1969, the ISUPK has been teaching so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2023, there is nothing more important than for God's chosen people to find out the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is here on the earth. And where do you find this information? This information is found inside of this book called the Bible. So what we like to do is give brothers and sisters an opportunity to gain the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that is contained in this Bible, for us to be able to um, become the people that God called us to be. And at no other point in the history of our people being on this earth has the necessity for us to gain that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding been more necessary and prevalent than the times that we are in now. So what we do with these classes, man, I like to start the classes off with questions. If any brothers or sisters in the classroom have questions, all you have to do is raise your hand. If there's any brothers and sisters who have any questions online, all you have to do is type your questions in and we will get to them. I like to encourage brothers and sisters to ask questions because you never know how something that you may be pondering or something that you that may concern you could help another brother, could help lead another brother or sister to gaining a greater insight or understanding. All right. So questions are always greatly um, encouraged. But if there are no questions, we are going to go into the topic for tonight's class. And the topic for tonight's class, man, is one that is very, very poignant for the times that we are living in. You brothers and sisters, we cover in these classes all the time how the Bible says to watch as well as pray. And there's a lot of things that are going on in society right now, a lot of things going on in the news and in the media that we should be watching. And if you are watching the way that the Bible says we are to watch, then you should know that there are some things that are going to be out there that are being purposefully designed to confuse and to deceive you. The Bible talks about being careful not to be deceived and the different things that would be taking place that could cause mass deception. And we're going to talk about those things tonight. All right. Namely, we're going to talk about UFOs. We're going to talk about so-called aliens. And we're going to talk about so-called technology that is or has existed on the earth that has not been made available to us in modern times. I'm gonna go in the Bible. I'm gonna show you that the basis for some of those technologies that are going to be presented to us as being alien or being foreign or being from another world have always been readily available to us here on the earth. All right. So if anybody has any questions, type them in. If nobody has any questions, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into tonight's topic. All right. Again, the title of the class is Living in the Age of Mass Deception. And we are going to discuss a great deception that is taking place in the time that we are living now and showing you how the Bible warned us not to be deceived. All right. All right. Hold on. Man. All right, first scripture we're going to go to is Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. All right. But actually, Colossians 2 and 8 is not really what it is I'm looking for. Man, hold on. Man, all right, first let's get Luke. Let's get Luke chapter 21, verse 8. All right. Get Luke chapter 21, verse 8. Because this is the warning that came down from our king, that is the most prevalent one that we should all be taking heed to. All right. All right. Really, okay. There's so much that we could go into with this breakdown that I don't want to spend too much time on just the uh, warnings. Because I really want to get to the part of the breakdown where we go into how a lot of these things that are going to be presented to us as being new and being, alien, really is things that have always been with us and been available to us through the power of the Most High. All right, so we're going to start here. Luke chapter 21, verse 8. All right, and these words are written in red, which means that they were spoken by our King Yahushua HaMashiach, who the world calls Jesus Christ. This is a warning from him to his disciples concerning a time that was sure to come in the future. All right, so Luke chapter 21, verse 8 says, and he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them. You understand? What did this mean when Yahushua said this? What was his warning? You understand? He said, take heed that ye be not deceived. Meaning what? Be careful. Be aware of what's going on. Be watching. Why? So that you don't be deceived. So what does it mean to be deceived? To be deceived is to be lied to. You understand? Or to be tricked. Or to be caused to believe something that is a lie to be true. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ. What does it mean to come in our King's name? Saying, I am Christ. What is it? What does the term Christ mean? Was he saying, be careful, because a lot of people are going to come saying, I am Yahushua. I am Christ. Or did he mean something else? In order to understand this, you have to understand Hebrew language and Hebrew speech. You have to understand the nuances and the context of how the people who wrote the Bible spoke. And in order to understand that, you have to understand that the Bible was written by so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And if you understand that, you understand that we have a way of speaking or a way of talking where everything that we say isn't literal. You understand? If I say, man, me and my dog was chilling the other day, people who are familiar with our culture and familiar with our speech would know that I may be that dog that I speak of could be a friend, could be somebody who, someone I frequently hang out with, could be an associate. But 9 times out of 10, I'm not talking about an animal. I'm not talking about a 4-legged animal that I walk on a leash. You understand? In the Bible, when the Bible speaks about a name or coming in someone's name, it is talking about their reputation. I'm talking about what they stand for. And for the children of Israel, throughout all the prophecies that are presented to us in the Bible, the name of Christ was not a literal name, but it was what he represented, what his mission was, what his purpose was in life. You understand? So when he says, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, he is saying that many were going to come will come in his reputation. Meaning what? What was the prophecy concerning the king of Israel? What was the prophecy concerning the man that was going to unite the 12 tribes and to bring us back to being a nation and restore us to our former glory? The prophecy said that a savior would rise up out of Israel, and a deliverer would bring us out of the hands of our enemies and out of the captivities that we were in, and would unite us under the Most High in a kingdom that would last forever. This is what Christ is saying when he says, many are going to come in my name, meaning many are going to come and say, I'm the one you've all been waiting for. I'm the Savior. I am the deliverer. I am the one who has come to join the 12 tribes of Israel together, and so to establish a kingdom that would never end on the earth. What does he mean when he said that they would say, I am Christ? The term Christ or Christos in the Greek comes from the Hebrew anointed. What did it mean in the Israelite culture to be anointed? To be anointed meant that you were ordained by the Most High to be a priest and a king over the people, to be the one that God chose to lead the people into the kingdom that would last forever. So when Christ gave this warning, it was a very specific warning concerning someone saying or presenting themselves to be something very specific. He said, don't be deceived, man. When they come saying that I'm the Savior, I'm the deliverer, I'm the one that's come to join us together to be a nation again, don't draw close to them. And what the great deception that is occurring on the earth right now is there's division everywhere. We're living in one of the most divided times on the earth, not just in this country, not just within this society, but all over the planet, with all the various nations and all the various peoples and all the diplomatic dealings that is going on the earth. There is complete and total division. And it is a lot more divided than what the American media may present to you. There's a lot that's going on, man, with breakdowns in the economies, breakdowns in trade, and breakdowns in diplomacy, and there's all types of clandestine wartime activities that's taking place, and the news media is not reporting on it. The news media is not letting it be known just how fragile and how at the breaking point this system is right now. And the reason why they're hiding it and keeping it hush hush is because they don't want you to panic here in this country. But with everything that is going on in the earth, if there was someone to, something to arise to say, now is the time for everyone to put aside their differences. Now is the time for us to stop the petty beefs and the petty tribalism. Now is the time for all of us to join together as one people, as one family. Then you have to know that that is something that you must draw away from. You have to know that that is something that is a complete and total deception, and our king warned us about it. All right? I'm going to keep reading verse 9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must come to pass. But the end is not by and by. Meaning what? These things have to happen, but the end is not that close. Now, what am I talking about right now with the all how fragile the system is and how close to a breaking point we are? 4 months ago, the U.S. military blew up the Nord 2 oil pipeline that runs from Russia to Germany. And it is one of the major pipelines that is responsible for all of Western Europe receiving gas and oil from Russia and from the countries that Russia gets oil from. The blowing up of this pipeline was absolutely an act of aggression from the U.S. against Russia for Russia going into Ukraine. And Russia and China and all of their allies are fighting a proxy war right now against America and its allies over there in that land called Ukraine. But it is very, very close to spilling out into being an all-out war where all these countries who have aligned themselves with these two powers are going to have to fight against one another. Now, the U.S. economy is completely in shambles. Those of us who, you work for a living, if you're working to get a paycheck and you're paying bills and you're going to get groceries, we all see just how little our money is worth today. A couple years ago, everybody was excited about all of those pandemic checks and all of that money that was coming and how they stimulated the economy, not realizing that a huge influx of money into the economy out of thin air means that the money that you're getting is not worth the money that you had the day before. And now we're beginning to feel the pinch of what they call inflation. That's why your gas prices are running high. That's why your electric bills are through the roof. That's why eggs are $12 a goddamn dozen in some places. All of the rising of these prices is a result of your dollar not having the same value that it had prior to the pandemic. And so what is that doing? That is causing countries who used to value the American dollar and used to do trade and hold the American dollar to be the standard to now turn away from the dollar and turn away from America as being the pinnacle of value when it comes to its monetary system. So those countries over there in the Middle East, those United Arab Emirate countries, those Iran and Saudi Arabia, they all are now drifting towards a new form of currency. They are no longer accepting the dollar, but they are drifting towards currencies that are backed by gold and backed by all these different, standards that all the world powers agree on. And as these countries begin to separate themselves from America and no longer deal with the US dollar, then that means that all the things, the luxuries we are used to affording ourselves are going to become more and more expensive and less easy to be obtained. And so as all of these commotions are being made around the earth, all of these, wars and whispers of wars and all of these warnings of the economy collapsing and the dollar falling and America and Russia going to war and China and all of the, natural disasters occurring on the earth. You got an earthquake over there in Turkey. You got, tsunamis and floods and snowstorms and all types of anomalies going on the earth. Then there's talk about America shooting down, a Chinese weather balloon a whole week ago. It's a big thing on the news about America shooting down the big weather balloon, right? Then right after America shoots down the weather balloon, now the U.S., Air Force shot down an unidentified aerial object floating over the Atlantic Ocean or floating over Canada in the Great Lakes region. Some unidentified flying object got shut down, and the government is real hush hush, and they don't want to talk about it, and they don't want to mention what it is. Just last year, the government came out and released files about these Navy fighters and jet fighters encountering these objects floating in the air and flying around at speeds that they couldn't imagine and moving in ways that they didn't know was possible. They are setting the stage to introduce the Earth to what they are going to call aliens or beings from another planet or from out extraterrestrial. And when they introduce these beings or these extraterrestrials, of course, what are they going to say? We come in peace. We come to, usher in a new age of humanity, and we come to, you know, who knows what the hell they're going to say. Just know that they are deceiving you. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me, y'all. 2 seconds. I got to step back. I got to open up the door right quick. I need y'all to bear with me for 2 seconds. I'm going to be right back. All right, all right. Salagi, y'all. All right. Salagi about that. Let me get a one. If y'all still with me, let me get a one. Let me get a one. So, boom. What I'm talking about is the great deception they are gearing up to play on all of us with these unidentified flying objects and these extraterrestrial aircrafts and these beings from another planet. Who knows how they're going to roll it out? But that is absolutely what they are preparing to do. You understand? And it's important that we have an understanding of what the Bible says concerning the angels and concerning the Most High visiting the earth, so that we don't get ourselves deceived into believing that anything that they present to us has anything to do with what we know to be true according to the Most High. All right. Let's get Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2. All right. All right, let's get I'm just going to read Ephesians 2 and 2. All right. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2 says, wherein in times past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. Everybody understands? The Bible is talking about getting caught up in the things that will benefit the world, or the things that the world is going to try to entrap everyone into. You understand? And right now we're living in a time where everybody wants to avoid the suffering. Everybody wants to avoid the pain. Everybody wants to avoid being poor and being broke and going through the difficult times that we all know are coming. And part of the great deception, part of what has kept this place running as long as it has, is the promise or the hope of not having to go through that suffering. We look being here in America, you look around the earth, you look around different countries and different places in the world, and you see the things that those people are going through, and you say, man, thank God I'm here in America. You understand? And right now, with all of the looming danger, all of the threats that are in the background, all of it is that America is going to become like all those other poor places. America's going to become a place where you can't go to the grocery store and buy eggs and buy water and buy chicken. America's going to come a place where you can't go put gas in your car. So I guess you got to ride a bicycle or you got to walk. America's going to become a place with a failing electrical grid where you're going to have to go days without having power, because they got to, the power can't be distributed evenly to everybody. You got to wait your turn for the water. All of the things that are threatening, quote unquote, this society are really things that are luxuries. They're really things that, in the grand scheme of life, aren't very important. But if you're someone who's been conditioned that this American way of life is the way that life is supposed to be lived, you would do anything to maintain it. You would do anything to keep a hold of it. Everybody understands? So what the benefit that's going to be presented to us with this new changing way of life. Now, let's say they don't present it to be some type of aliens or whatever. I'm not saying that's what the deception is going to be, but there is a deception coming that you are going to have to get on board with this being the way of life if you want to continue to live the way that you have been able to live in America. And if you don't want to get on board, then the threat is you're going to have to live like the poor people in the rest of the earth. If we don't come together, if we don't stand together, if we don't join hand in hand as a strong American people, then the consequences, we're going to have to live like this. Everybody understands? But what we have to realize is that this place has to fall in order for the Most High's kingdom to rise. This society has to crumble. This way of life has to pass away. And if that means that the electricity and the plumbing and the grocery stores having food goes away with it, then that is what we should all be prepared for. Everybody understands? Why should we be prepared for that? Because that is what the Most High prophesied. Our King prophesied the destruction of this sinful kingdom. Everybody understands. But how can the sinful kingdom be destroyed if all of the things that allow it to continue to run remain in place? You understand? Now, that's a difficult thing for some people to wrap their minds around. But the grocery store has to go away in order for the kingdom of heaven to rise up. Your ability to go and just put gas in your car and drive around has to disappear one day in order for the kingdom of heaven to rise. This government and the fluidity of your oppressor to respond to all threats and all dangers has to be removed in order for there to be the need for another kingdom to rise. Everybody understands? So while all these things that are happening in the earth that is causing people to be afraid, that is causing people to wonder, well, when is America going to fall, may be threatening to some, to those of us who are in the truth, we should be praying the Lord brings more destruction, brings more terrorism, brings more division. Why? Because that is going to get us closer to our King's return. But the great deception is that there's a way to stop it. The great deception is, oh man, look, now we've encountered extraterrestrials. Now we've encountered technology and beings from another dimension, and now they're going to help us usher in a brand new way of living the American dream, a brand new way of standing together and everybody joining in the rainbow and everybody holding hands and everybody being one big human earthly family, when all of that means this place continues to thrive and exist the way that it has existed. And that goes against the scriptures. Everybody understands? But that is the spirit. That is what the Prince of the Air is putting out there. That is, you go on anywhere on the internet, any social media app, you go to any conspiracy theorist rabbit hole. At the bottom of all of what is being promoted out there today is there's a way for us to save America. There's some powers that be that want to ruin it. They want us to all be slaves. They want us to all be in debt. They want us to all owe money so they can have all the wealth and we don't have none of it. So what's the solution? We got to stick together. We got to band together and fight against the bad guys. That is not the solution. You understand? The solution is we have to turn to the Most High for a better kingdom, for a better society. You understand? Everything that you find out there is someone trying to tell you that we have to try and save this place. We have to try and salvage this great American experiment, when the reality is we must let it go. And it must be destroyed in whatever way that the Most High sees fit. And if there's something or someone or an event that happens on the earth that causes now everybody to want to join together, you have got to know that that thing is against the Most High. Everybody understands? Let me drop that. Let's get Matthew chapter 24 verse 34. Understand? Matthew chapter 24 verse 24. It says, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. You understand? What could possibly deceive the very elect? Who are the elect? The people who have been chosen to receive the knowledge and the understanding and the wisdom of God. The elect are the people who know what we're waiting for and what we're looking for our king to return. What are we looking for? We're looking for our king to come out of the sky with 100 million angels, right? We're looking for our king to come out of the sky and for everybody to see it and for everybody to know that this is the fulfillment of all biblical prophecy. Well, what happens if it occurs tomorrow? Tomorrow there's spaceships in the sky. And those spaceships land on the earth, and out come men, and they say, I am Jesus Christ. I am your savior. I am the man who all of your religious record speaks of. I am the son of Abraham and David, and of Muhammad, and of the Buddha, and of the Krishna. Some being, you understand, from somewhere coming to let everybody on earth know that I am here to usher in the new kingdom. I am here to usher in the new, path of life for all humanity and the betterment of all people. You better know that's Satan. You better know that is a goddamn lie, and that is your oppressor deceiving you. You understand? Because something like that would deceive the very elect. The sky crack open, chariots pouring out of the sky, surrounding the earth, landing in different places on the earth. All the news cameras and the militaries is gathered. And then whatever comes out of that foreign spacecraft comes and tells you that I'm here to unite all the earth and gather all the peoples together. You better know that's Satan. You better know that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and our king warned us about this. Everybody understands? What is it that we should know about the way that our king returns? Well, first of all, we should know that the Most High hates this place. We should know that the way that this empire is existing on the earth, it is against everything that is righteous and pure and holy according to the scriptures. And the kingdom that the Most High prophesied to establish is going to be the one that is established on the destruction of all the others. If there's anything that occurs with any spaceships or any vehicles out of the sky, if your oppressor is blowing them up or killing them, you got to know that ain't nothing to do with the Most High. If there's any arrival of anything out of the sky and it isn't met with thermonuclear destruction of the oppressors of the earth, then you have to know that it is not at all related to our king and the fulfillment of these prophecies. Everybody understands? So it's important that we are prepared for these things and we know what to look for so that we do not allow ourselves to be deceived. Now, what should allow us to not be deceived? What should allow us to be able to recognize that, man, this is the devil showing great signs and wonders, and there's nothing but tricks that really isn't anything that's important or anything that's special. You understand? There's a lot of firsthand witness in the Bible of things that we are going to be presented with very shortly as being new technology. You understand? There are things that have always existed and been possible on the earth that our oppressor is just now finding out and tapping into, and he is going to tell you that it is technology he received from the aliens. He's going to tell you it is new abilities and new powers that they've learned by encountering these beings from another dimension or another place, when really this is stuff that's always been on the earth. Everybody understands? One of the things that's going on with a lot of these with these UFO sightings and these ships being shot down and the U.S. government shooting down something over the Canadian airspace, one of the things that they have been lying to everyone about for over 100 years now is the rate of the advancement of technology in this place. You understand? And this is something I learned, man, when I was very young, even before the truth. It's things that I studied and had come across, over 15 years ago. And they're things that are now beginning to pick up speed and are really beginning to bear fruit. You know what I'm saying? And for a long time, a lot of this stuff to me was unrelated to the truth at all. But with what's happening, what I see going on in the media and the direction that I see this thing going in, I absolutely know for a fact that the things that I was learning over 15 years ago was true. You understand? Especially concerning the technology. So when it comes to these flying vehicles, right? Our oppressor has had technology for non-jet propulsion engines for about 100 years. You understand? What I mean is They've had the technology to have vehicles, whether they be cars, whether they be ships, whether they be flying vehicles, airplanes. They've had for about 100 years the technology to have vehicles that can fly and move in the sky without any engines or without any jet fuel or without making any noise or leaving any streaks in the sky. They've had that for about 100 years. They've had vehicles that could run off of no electricity, no gasoline, no engine with turning parts for about 100 years. You understand? They've had the ability, the same way we have the ability today to use the internet and to use cell phones and to have wireless signals that is in the air that we can't see, but allows our phone to be able to work and us to be able to talk to each other. They had that technology about 100 years now. A lot of this stuff they've been slow rolling it out because they needed a way to be able to make people pay for it. But a lot of it they've had access to for over 100 years, and who knows how long they've been testing it or been using it or been applying it to other areas or other ways of utilizing it. But it's not anything that's new. Everybody understands. Now, how could I prove that biblically? Let's get into it. All right, so let's go. Let me get let me see something. There's a lot of what I'm going to go into now are some of these miracles that were performed in the Bible. But a lot of these miracles that we're going to read about in the Bible is what our oppressor calls technology. Everybody understands. But it really isn't technology, it's the power of the Most High. You understand? But if you don't have the power of the Most High, but you want to do what the Most High is doing, you have to develop a bootleg system. And what we call technology today is really a bootleg system of the Most High's power. Everybody understands. So we're gonna get into it. Let me get. I'm trying to think of the first place to go. I'm trying to think of the first place to go. I want something that I can for sure, show you that this is technology and prove it. So many examples. Let me just get this one here. All right, let me get hold up. All right, let's get 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 17. All right. All right. This is crazy. All right, so let me get this 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 16. All right. Now this is Elisha. When Elisha was camped out in a city that was about to be attacked, right? And Elisha's in this city, and Elisha was a prophet of the Lord at this time who was dealing with I can't remember if this was battling with the prophets of Baal or if this was battling with others who were, this was infighting within the nation of Israel. But I believe this is we are fighting against the Syrians, the king of Syria. Mm-hmm. All right. And these people are getting ready to attack the city where Elisha is residing. And we're going to read about a conversation that was had at this time. So this is 2 Kings. We're going to start at verse 14 and we're going to read on down. All right. All right. 2 Kings chapter 6 verse 14 says, therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, a host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. Everybody understands? The city is surrounded by an army. And this brother who was there to serve Elisha is so afraid and doesn't know what are we going to do, because there's an army that has surrounded us and we surely are going to die. Elisha's response to him is, Don't be afraid, for they that are with us are greater than they that be with them. Meaning what? Our forces are stronger than their forces. Our forces are more mightier than their forces, right? Verse 17, and Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. Now, was this man blind? Was this man not able to see? No, how do we know he wasn't blind? He saw the army that surrounded the city. So he was able to see the army that surrounded the city, but he was not able to see the army that was there with Elisha. Now, why wasn't he able to see the army? What was blocking his sight, but not Elisha's sight? The power of the Most High. The power of the Most High allowed Elisha to see there's an army that is with us stronger than the army that is outside. But this brother could not see. What would we call that today? Huh? No, it's not sleep. There's an army that is outside, that is on our side. I can see the army, but you can't see the army. What would we call the what is the army if it's there but you can't see it? If something is in the room right now and it's here but we can't see it, what is it? No. Just think technology. Sister Kazak said walking by faith. No, it's a lot simpler than that. It's technology. I'm speaking of something technology. I'm speaking of something that is technological. It's in the room right now. You can't see it. What is it? If something is in the room, but we can't see that it's in the room, what is it? No. Think technology. Think what our oppressor would call technology. It's in the room, but we can't see it. Something is here, you can't see it. But then God opens your eyes and now you can see it. It's no longer what? Sister Kazak, when I said waves, Sister Kamala said the internet. No, it's invincible. It's cloaked. It's invisible. Okay. If something's in the room and you can't see it, that means it's invisible. Right. It's invisible, but then God allows you to be able to see it. Now it's not invisible. The thing who you can't see, that's technology. Everybody understand? Our oppressor would call it technology. Okay. We know it's the power of God, okay, but he calls it technology. What does the oppressor want to do? So well, yeah, he wants to be like the Lord. So what does he want to be able to do? He want to be able to make stuff invisible. He knows God can make things that are there not be visible. So now he wants to do it. So what does he go do? He goes and in his laboratories, he's trying to come up with cloaking technology to make shit be invisible. Anybody ever seen the Predator movie? You ever seen the Predator movie? The Predator was an alien that could be sitting in the tree and you looking up in the trees and don't see it because it's invisible. But then out of nowhere, you see a little red beam And then you start to see the outline of the predator, and then magically now you can see it. Now, why do you think they putting that in the movie? Why is that something that they are imagining? Because they're reading it in the Bible. God has cloaking technology where he can cause things that are there to not be seen. And the white man wants that technology. He wants to be able to be in the room but be invisible. Everybody understands? Now, he can't do it the way the Lord does it because the things that are present in this plane don't have to exist in this plane. There's a whole existence that's outside of our view. We can't see it. We can't touch it. We can't feel it. We can't smell it. There's a whole spiritual world that's there. The white man can't access that world, but he can turn some shit invisible. He could be in the room in he could have a little stealth suit that get reflectors on the front and the back so that the reflectors is mimicking the environment. So he moving in the bushes. All you see is, look, what the fuck is that waving in the trees? You don't see nothing, but you see something out there. That's some white man in some invisible suit running around out there in the goddamn trees. You can't see him because the technology is reflecting mirrors all around, and all you seeing is the damn grass moving. But it's a goddamn cat in an invisible suit. Well, you think if they got invisible suits, you think they ain't got invisible planes? They ain't got invisible trucks and tanks? You understand? There was a man that lived on the earth. His name was Nikola Tesla. Right? This cat Nikola Tesla lived about 100 years ago on the earth. And Nikola Tesla filed patents with the U.S. government for wireless electrical equipment. This is a man who in 1890 had wireless light bulbs, had patents for vehicles that drove on the sun, the power from the sun. He had towers that was able to transmit electricity wirelessly. Power, not just the internet, not just the radio, not just the cell phone, but the power to light your house for free. Now, who would want to stand in the way of everybody having access to? Now, okay, if Nikola Tesla was able to discover this technology, you think that's something that didn't already exist? You think that's something that wasn't accessible thousands of years ago? Who knows what technology has been on the earth before? Who knows what capability? Here's what we do know. We do know that when the Most High led the children of Israel out of Egypt, there was a pillar of fire by night and a pillar of smoke by the day, which means what? There was something in the sky they couldn't see, but a beam was coming down that they followed and led them out of the wilderness. The white man would call that technology. We know it's the power of God, but the white man calls it technology. And he wants to mimic it. He wants to duplicate it. Today, we have the power of cell phones, right? You want to talk to somebody, you pick up the phone and you call them. You want to, FaceTime somebody. You do the thing on the phone, you FaceTime them, right? That's modern technology. I won't get too much. I ain't going to go too much into no philosophizing. But that is a bootleg version of something that God had already created. When the Most High wanted to speak to someone, what did he do? Send an angel. If there was a message the Most High wanted for you to receive, send an angel. And an angel will appear and speak to you and take you to mountaintops and take you to other places on the earth and take you up in the spirit and show you things that are happening. You sitting in the room, but they take you in the spirit and show you what's going on in the temple, show you what's being done, what the priests are doing in the cover of darkness, sinning against the Most High and worshiping other gods. The white man would call that technology. You mean you was able to take somebody who's sitting here all the way across the country and into the privacy of where the priests are, and they were able to sit and watch what the priests were doing, worshiping other gods? That's surveillance technology. That's the power to be able to put a camera in the room and watch on the TV what somebody is doing thousands of miles away. That's the power of God that your oppressor is trying to mimic and trying to take and make his own. Go ahead, sis.
That movie, I don't know if you've seen it, What Happened on Monday, or even them other little movies, they'll have it where they coming out their hand, and it'll open up a whole little whatever. It's like a little world, like you're talking about. Open it up, like out of nowhere, and just do anything, like go anywhere, like a portal, like they transporting. But guess what? That's what the angels is doing. That's what made me think about it. The angels have technology where they can go and get a message from the Most High and pop up in your. Let me just keep going into these examples in the scriptures of this technology that this oppressor wants to duplicate. Everybody understands. This is in 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 17, right? And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Most High and said, smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. This is what the army did for Elisha. This brother, after Elisha prayed for him to be able to see, he saw the chariots and the army that was there to protect Elisha. And Elisha prayed and spoke to the Lord and said, Father, have them to smite our enemies with blindness. And then what happened? The enemies all went blind. I'm going to keep reading. This is verse 19. And Elisha said unto them, let me finish the end of verse 18. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. And Elisha said unto them, this is not the way, neither is this the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom ye seek. But he led them to Samaria. And it came to pass when they were come unto Samaria that Elisha said, Lord, open the eyes of these men that they may see. And the Lord opened their eyes, and they saw, and behold, they were in the midst of Samaria. And the king of Israel said unto Elisha when he saw them, my father, shall I smite them? Shall I smite them? And he said, thou shalt not smite them. Wouldest thou smite those whom thou hast taken captive with thy sword and with thy bow? Set bread and water before them that they may eat and drink and go to their master. Everybody understands? This was a war that was won by the power of God. And your oppressor reads this and he sees invisibility. He sees the ability to make a people go blind so that they could be led into a trap. And then once the trap is sprung, once they were given back their ability to see, now the army who has deceived them with this technology now is merciful and allows them to live. But this is an absolute technologically advanced tactic that was used in this war between the king of Syria and the king of Israel, with the prophet Elisha being the one to utilize this technology. Everybody understands? You gonna say something, sis? I had a question. Who was led to Samaria? Was that the enemies?
The army that surrounded the city.
And Elisha led them to Samaria.
Elisha prayed for the army of the Lord to blind them, and they all went blind. The army was blinded. And Elisha came out of the city and said, this is not the place that you want to attack. This is not the city that you should be attacking. The man you're looking for is not here. Who's the man they're looking for? Him. The man you're looking for is not here. I'll show you the city where he is. And then he led the army into the city of the king of Israel so that this army could be captured. And when he led them to the city, he removed the blinders, and then they were in the midst of Samaria, which is the capital city of Israel. And now they were conquered. And the king said, should I kill him? Come on in. The king said, should I kill him? And Elijah said, no, don't kill him. Feed them and treat them like captors and then release them back to their masters. Shalom, ma. You understand? And that's what they did. But there was no battle. There was no fight. There was no bloodshed because Elisha had the power of the Lord. But your oppressor sees the power of the Lord and thinks technology. Everybody understands? Let me get you some more. Hold up. Here's another one. This is Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 2. All right. This is going back to Moses and the angel and the burning bush. What was this whole burning bush about? Let's get it. Exodus chapter 3, verse 2. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. And he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of the Most High, even to Horeb. And the angel of the Most High appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. How could a bush be burning with fire, but the leaves are not withering away? The leaves of the bush are not burning up. It's just fire engulfing this bush. This is the power of God. This is a miracle. But 4,000, 5,000 years ago, your oppressor sees advanced technology. He sees alien technology standing right there in front of Moses. But how gangster is the Lord that's how he presents himself to you? A man in a bush that's on fire, and the man standing there like, Moses, what's up, man? Come talk. The Lord wants to speak to you. Moses, now, let's keep reading. Verse 3. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burned. Moses said, what the hell is this? Why isn't the bush burning? What man is standing in fire and the bush ain't burning up? Let me go see what's going on with this. Verse 4, and when the Most High saw that he turned aside to see, the Most High called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, here I am. And he said, draw not nigh hither, put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place wherein thou standest is holy ground. Everybody understands? The angel, the Lord said, don't come too close, but take your shoes off, because this place where you standing is a holy place. Everybody understands? That was the power of the Lord that was presented to Moses out of that bush. Your oppressor sees that and says, that's technology. You know what your oppressor sees? He sees goddamn intercom. He sees a damn video call out the bush. That's what it is to him. We see, man, that's a miracle, man. The Lord spoke to Moses out of a bush. Your oppressor sees a portal that he can open up in a bush in the middle of the desert in the Middle East and talk to somebody. Abraham, it's me. Now listen, why is this important? Because he has the technology now to speak to you. You in your house, you hear Ashbakaramya. It is I, the Lord. You better say, nigga, stop playing with me, man. Who the fuck is this? Know that is not the Lord. Everybody understand? That is, your oppressor has the ability and the technology now to try and mimic what it is that the Lord created. And we have got to have the knowledge of how the Lord promised he would visit us so that we don't get deceived when it's the oppressor in a goddamn invisibility suit. You hear some whisper in your ear. Soccer war. I've come to give you the keys to all the riches of the man. That Satan, get thee behind me. You understand? Or hell, it could be something worse. Go smoke that crack. But listen, right now, okay. Again, technology, right? We talking about power of the Lord, and we talking about technology, right? Our president has been doing experiments for over 80 years with psychedelics, right? What are psychedelics? They're plants and mushrooms and different things you can take that allow you to be able to have visions and to see things that aren't really there, right? Y'all may not have encountered it yet, but there's a big push out there to get people to try psychedelic drugs. There's a football quarterback right now named Aaron Rodgers, who last year during the offseason went down into Peru and took what they call a DMT trip, right? He smoked the leaf of some plant called ayahuasca. And they say that if you take this, you drink you basically make a tea out of this plant and you drink it, it'll allow you to go and see into another universe. They'll call it a psychedelic trip, where you'll be in your physical body, but your mind is going to be some other place. And there's beings in this place, and you can talk to them. And when you come back, you'll lose your ego, and you'll no longer have the desires to want to be rich and want to be famous. It'll let you know that there's more to life than what you can see with just your eyes. That's you getting high and talking to demons. But the white man wants it to present it like, oh, it's the new wave. It's just getting high. And he wants you to think you're doing something spectacular, when getting high been on the earth since forever. You understand? But they want to push it as though it's something new. Now, why did I bring that up? Even before the Vietnam War, they were doing experiments with heroin. They were doing experiments with LSD. They were doing all types of experiments on people to try and see how they could manipulate your mind. They got programs called MK Ultra and the Manchurian Candidate. All these different. If you know any conspiracy, anything, you know about this stuff. They was experimenting with heroin and cocaine way before it became a drug you could smoke. Molly and popping pills, all of that was the government testing on people before they allowed it to be a drug you could use. And then doing all of these tests, they found that there were ways they could manipulate people by programming visions into them. They could program the drug to give you a certain vision. They want you to go see, they want you to go be in the Avengers universe and go see Thanos sitting on the throne and get scared. They'll give you a certain thing to get you high, and you're going to see exactly what the hell they want you to see. You understand? But the people who experience it, they feel like, oh, I had an experience with God. I went and I talked with the beings who created, and they were so peaceful. And it was so, you believe that if you want to. Your oppressor has created drugs that he can dictate the high. You're not just getting high and the demons in control no more. The oppressor is programming, okay, this nigga finna go and see, the Wizard of Oz. And he give you the pill, you get high, you go see the Wizard of Oz. So like y'all. They call them designer drugs. And if you've ever known, now, some of us have been unfortunate to know people who have used these drugs. If you ever known anybody that smoked PCP, they absolutely are receiving visions from Satan. Niggas that get high, they call it butt naked where I'm from, or the boat. They smoke that boat out. It's shit there that I can't see. It's invisible to me. But to the nigga who's high on the PCP, nigga, it's right there in the room, and you got to help me kill it. And if you don't help him kill it, he might try to kill you. But that's not nothing that's new. That's something that's the water Kazakwana. Sister Kazakwana said witchcraft. The Bible calls it witchcraft. Your oppressor sees technology. Or he sees the ability to overpower someone. If I get him high and he's seeing, he getting butt naked, surely I can get him to do this and get him to do that. Hell, I can just get him high and do all types of experiments on him. I just get him high and lay him on the table, put on a goofy suit, and play in his butt, and he'll say he got abducted by aliens. You're not getting abducted by no goddamn aliens. That's the white man abducting you, playing in your ass. Excuse my language. There ain't no damn aliens. But all of it is being done to create a grander deception. And if we don't know the Most High, if we don't understand what it is that has always been capable on the earth, then we'll think that this thing the white man is doing something brand new. It's something that's so amazing. All right, let me get another one for y'all. Let me get this one is gonna be in the book of might be in the book of Judges, but it's the father of um man, it's the father of Samson. Man. All right, this might be it now. Hold on. No, that's not it. Who's Samson's father's name? Put him there. Manoah. That's what it is. Manoah. Okay, give me a second. Let me find Manoah. I'm gonna show you how it is. This is Judges chapter 13. Hold on. Okay, this is Judges 13 and 16. All right. Hold on. Listen. This take not this. What I can only imagine what our oppressor thinks to himself when he reads this, and all the wild imaginations that he has of duplicating the power of the Lord. All right. This is Judges 13 and 17. And Manoah said unto the angel of the Most High, what is thy name? That when thy sayings come to pass, we may do thee honor. Right? Manoah had come to deliver a message. The angel had come to deliver a message to Manoah and his wife that they were going to give birth to a son. And this was going to be a special son, and he was going to be endued with the power of the Lord. And Manoah wanted to honor the angel. Right? Let's see what the angel said. Verse 18, and the angel of the Most High said unto him, why askest thou after my name, seeing it is a secret? Why are you asking my name? If I wanted you to know my name, I would have told you. Verse 19, so Manoah took a kid with a meat offering and offered it upon a rock unto the Lord. And the angel did wondrously, and Manoah and his wife looked on. For it came to pass when the flame went up toward heaven from off the altar, that the angel of the Lord ascended in the flame of the altar. And Manoah and his wife looked on it and fell on their faces to the ground. The angel jumped in the fire and disappeared. Now, the white man reads that and says, the nigga jumped in the fire and disappeared? How can we do that? Man, how can we just how gangster is that to leave a room? You appear and deliver a message from the Most High, and the brothers say, man, what can I do to honor you? And you say, I don't need no honor. The Lord has done it. The brother go to offer up an offering, and you just say, Lord be with y'all. You jump in, he jumped on the altar. The angel jumped and just whoop, in the smoke. He gone. He out of there. Your oppressor reads that and says, man, I want to jump in the fire. I want to be able to disappear. What portal gun is that? What ray beam is that? What manipulation of physics and he wants to know. Go ahead, Oz. Star Trek teleporting. They thought they had it. Listen, they absolutely want it, and they've been working on it. Right. Like I said, you can go look up patents for a lot of different things you would think is out of this world. White man been working on it. He been trying to fine tune it and fine crafting it. And why would he hide it? A lot of people say, why would they hide this technology? If they had it, why would they hide it? So that they could deceive you with it. Their end game is in order to get everybody on one accord and get all control and everybody joining together in the Rainbow Coalition, they are going to stage an alien invasion on the earth. That's what all of this shit that's going on right now is. There's going to be some type of thing with some aliens. And some aliens gave us this technology, or we learned from the aliens, or we traded information, and it's just the white man lying because he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. Coming up with new ways to deceive everybody. You understand? At what end? For what purpose? Why would he go through all these lengths to be deceptive? Well, let's see what the Bible says. Let's get 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Before that, though, let me get one more. Before we get 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, let me get one more. All right. Again, this is me showing you that there in the Bible, there's evidence that the power of the Most High is capable of things that is far greater than any technology that we can conceive. And our oppressor wants to have access to that technology. He wants to have access to the power of God. He cannot get it, but he is desperately trying at every attempt to be able to duplicate it. Everybody understands? Let me get all right. These are gonna be two examples to show you the power that we are capable of if only we will stand with the Lord and receive the power that he has. All right. All right. All right, hold on. Let me see something. All right. Let's see something. Get Mark chapter 4. Let's get Mark chapter 14. Let's get Mark chapter 14, and we will start at verse 24. All right. All right. So this is Mark 14 and 24. We're gonna read on down to 33. All right. All right. All right. Mark chapter 14. What's it? 24, right? So Mark chapter 14, verse 24 says, "But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary," meaning the wind was against them, right? "And in the fourth watch of the night, Yahushua went unto them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit. And they cried out for fear."